All right, GunShow number 18. I've got one of my favorite exercises for you, the lateral raise. You're just going to need a couple of lightweight dumbbells. If you have the little mini ones that are 1 pound, 2 pound, that's going to work. I'm just going to be using my 2.5 pound plates. But listen, have you ever heard of, every culture, they have their sort of mythical creatures. Have you heard about the Korean scary mythical creature? They're called gishins. And if I do this middle part, like so, okay? Okay, if you look it up, don't bother telling me that I look like a gishin because I already know, okay? Here, like this middle part is going to cut it. Anywho, before our exercise, we're going to do our mobility warm-up drill. Again, as stated in the prior post, we're going to do some serratus focused mobility drills. So for that, we're going to take the band, a lightweight band should probably do it for this version of the pull-aparts. Okay, so we're doing band pull-aparts, and I really want you to see, even though it might not look right on me, but I really want you to kind of see my shoulders as we're doing this. So this is the protracted version. So in the regular version of the pull-aparts, we're working mostly on the external rotation and the shoulder blades being set together in the back. So you would come across and have the shoulder blades come close together, okay? I hope you could see that. I have no idea. I hope you're not going, what is she talking about? Okay. I probably say that for every post. All right, but in this version, we're going to take the band and hold it in the starting position as far as the hands in the same way. All right, so up with your thumbs up. But the most important part of this is the protraction, okay? So the serratus, it's related to the serratus because the serratus helps protract, okay? So the protraction means that we're taking the shoulder blade, and this should give you the same visual cue that I gave before. Your protraction visual you want to have is that your shoulder blade is wrapping around, so it's pulling far apart, or the way that I explained it when I was doing some a lot of push-up posts, is that you want to imagine that your shoulder blades are, mad at each other, and so they're drifting apart, okay? But with the protraction, they're not only drifting apart, they're almost wrapping around, okay, this side, okay? Because your shoulder blades have the ability to then also rotate upward on the bottom. Anywho, so just have that visual that your shoulder blades are coming apart when you're trying to set up with the protraction. So it would be like you're being pulled, someone's pulling your hand forward while you're trying to resist being pulled forward. So like so, okay? The difference between being in protraction here, okay, shrug the shoulders down, protraction versus just bending over, okay? There's a pretty big difference. So you just want to get your shoulders depressed first with a nice tension here, and then act as if someone's just pulling on your fist, your arms, while you're trying to stay behind, but you're losing the battle just a little bit, okay? Now this position here is what we keep as we do the pull apart. And this is a huge mind-body connection struggle. Well, for me it is, okay? So you just want to keep that protraction that entire time, okay? So come forward. Okay? If you end up having a slight lean, which means your hips are going back so that you're in a straight line, even though you're angled, that part is okay. You just shouldn't be rounding through like this, okay? So if you want to have a lean before you protract, if that's more comfortable, that's okay. That's okay, all right? but you want to keep, so I'm going to try to show you doing it the right way. So you want to keep the that protraction intact so that when you come back, you are not bringing the shoulder blades together. We're going to have the shoulder blades stay mad at each other throughout the whole thing, all right? Giving as many cues as possible and visuals. Okay, now the lateral raise. I have shown this several times before, and it just really never gets old, because with this exercise, it's so much about what not to do more than what to do, okay? Because what you're doing is very simple. All you need to do is make sure that your thumbs are higher up, okay? Not here, okay, higher up as you're holding your dumbbell, and that you're trying to raise this arm out to the side with the part, the mid delt, the part that has that nice visual pop as the part that's working. That's it on this exercise. But there's so many ways that we could shortcut it that it's really more about what not to do. So let me grab my 2 pounds. So of course, you know, I'm always unprepared. In my mind, I already had all this set up, right? But it's always too late and too tired. Okay, and you could work this. I actually suggest working it one arm at a time so you could really focus. And I really should switch to my weaker side so I could keep working the weaker side. Okay, so what you don't want to do is we don't want any shoulder shrugging, okay? We don't want to lead with the lead up with the elbows, okay? We don't want to be leaning here as if that's bringing it up, okay? So all those things you don't want to do. So we'll start with what we want, which is that straight arm with a hinge, a slight angle. You want to see that this mid delt is straight up, okay? And then turn your thumbs up. And what we're going to do is depress the shoulder and just raise up and try to feel it basically only in your delts, your mid delts, that is. So come all the way up and then come up a little bit higher and then go only partially down, okay? Very, very light weights, keep it down. You'll feel it on the first rep. Now, if you start feeling it anywhere else, okay, especially your upper traps right here, in order to help isolate this, okay, if you just brought your elbow back, okay, to make sure that you're nicely set down with your shoulder blades and that your upper trap is off right now, and then started the exercise. So straighten the arm, okay, keep a slight tap on your upper trap to make sure it doesn't contract, okay? And then you could also spread and touch your mid delt to make sure that it does contract. So come up to the top, okay, come up to the top and go up a little higher, okay? So remember what not to do. We're not going to go here. I know I'm exaggerating, but you know, watch for those little movements. We're not going to go like this, okay, where we're end up shrugging that shoulder up. We're just keeping it 100% right here, right? And if you touch this while you're doing the exercise, it should feel, I mean, you should be able to feel it without touching it, but you should feel that this contracts and nothing else does, okay? It's not as easy as it looks. I'm gonna do it one last time. So we'll lean back, make sure that the arm is straight, thumbs are up, okay? That the shoulder blades, that the upper trap is down and out of it. And if you want to drive the elbow back a little first in order to set that, Then we're just going to go straight up and focus everything on this mid delt, and then up here, come up a little bit more. Oh my God, that just makes me want to cry. And that was only like 2 actual full reps. So keep going on this one. Remember, this is going to be visually that very top line of your, your arm muscles that are going to show and act as the shape of your hanger. All right. My goodness, I'm just full of visuals, but I did use that visual before as well, that your shoulders are, what you're going to hang your clothes on. So even though even if you're not showing bare arms, right, when you put your clothes back on and hang them on their shoulders, how they hang on your body, okay? All right, so you'll get a double benefit. So if you're toned through your delts, that will have your clothes hang nicely. And then if you're showing them on skin, that will give like the first visual impact of being toned. Okay, so anywho, there was a lot of jibber jabber. All right, but give this a go. This is seriously one of my favorites, one of my hardest, least fun exercises, but it really makes a difference. And something like this, where you're doing an exercise, basically you're going through the burn. I mean, it's like isometrics, a hypertrophy, all rolled in one. And there is room to scale this, okay? And there are a couple of variations to this, but this is, the best, like, basic version to learn first and get those shoulders popping.